for staying with us tonight. I'm Ryan Cummings.
And I'm Annie Satowski. If you're not a cat person, this next story may certainly change your mind.
When a Sturgis man slipped in the shower, he laid helpless on the floor for hours, and it was his pet cat who saved his life. Doug Brighten shows us how.
We have to thank our friends at the Sturgis Journal for pointing our attention to this really incredible story. Ron Williams is almost 85 years old. A couple days ago, he slipped and fell while getting out of the shower, and he laid there for almost 16 hours. Then he remembered his cell phone was on the counter, and his pet cat, Fluffy, was also in the bathroom with him.
I relive it a million times, and what if he wouldn't have been in there with me? I'd be dead today. That's it.
But Ron Williams is alive and with quite a tale to tell. The main character is his pet cat, Fluffy.
That's a boy.
Ron adopted Fluffy from a friend not too long ago.
And I looked at him and I just fell in love with him.
Williams, who turns 85 in September, didn't know that a few weeks after he got him, Fluffy would save his life. We all talk to our pets, and that's how this story starts.
The phone would ring, and I'd say, ring-a-ding, ring-a-ding, and I didn't know he'd pick up on it.
Thank goodness Fluffy did. A few days ago, Ron slipped getting out of the shower. With his life alert on the charger, his phone up on the counter, and the door closed, Ron was trapped.
My arm was pinned under me, and the hours kept going by.
For 16 hours, from 8 in the morning until midnight, Ron lay trapped in agony on the floor. Until he remembered, Fluffy was in the room too, and Ron took one crazy last chance to save his life.
So I said, Fluffy, ring-a-ding, Fluffy. And I says, you're my only hope, and he was. It wasn't even 5 minutes later, I felt something hit my hand. And I'm here because of it.
Now, with just a few bumps and bruises, Ron is recovering, but alive. Just goes to show you don't need to be strong or even be a human to be a hero.
He'll never be away from me until the day I die.
Which won't be for a long, long time if it's Fluffy's call.
He's my hero, and he always will be.
And safe to say, Ron has since installed a grab bar in his shower. In Kalamazoo, Doug Brighten, Fox 17 News.
97-year-old Sophie Thomas was pulling dandelions out of her garden when the unexpected happened.
All of a sudden, these 4 big pit bulls come rushing in, and they surrounded me. And they kept going around and around. One of them kind of lunged for me, and I hit him on the head, and he backed off. And then another one kind of came towards me, and I was scared still. And I give him a whack, and all of a sudden, my cat jumped right in the middle of it.
The cat ran towards the garage, and the dogs chased after her, giving Miss Thomas just enough time to run inside.
I was shaken. I was scared. I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life.
Fearing the worst for Tiger, Miss Thomas waited and washed her wounds in the sink. Then she finally saw Tiger at the door. Thinking back now, she says she owes the cat her life.
I was thinking, God, that my cat, he came, because she was the one that really helped me out.
The pit bulls live at this house just behind Miss Thomas's. The owner says they're friendly dogs and were just playing. She feels bad they got out, but says it was an accident.
My son didn't shut his bedroom door and they went out the window. I felt horrible. I was very concerned.
While the scary moment is over, it has left a lasting picture in the mind of this woman. But she's also grateful for this little cat with a brave heart.
A long-haired tabby cat has been a hero after finding an abandoned baby in the street and climbing in the box he had been left in to protect him from the cold. As well as making sure the 3-month-old didn't freeze to death, the Moggy raised the alarm by crying out to make people aware of the boy's presence. Irina Livrova, 68, who lives near to where the tot was dumped in Obinsk, Russia, was throwing out rubbish when she heard Masha the cat meowing near the bins. She went over to check Masha, a communal cat, was all right. and could not believe her eyes when she saw the baby boy lying among next to the Moggy. Masha is a communal cat who everyone takes turns in looking after, she said. She is very placid and friendly, so when I heard her mewing I thought that perhaps she had injured herself because normally she would have come and said hello to me. You can imagine my shock when I saw her lying in a box next to a baby. Clearly her mothering instincts had taken over and she wanted to protect the child. He was well dressed with a little hat, and whoever left him here had even left a few nappies and some baby food. The baby boy was taken by ambulance to hospital where he was given a checkup and declared fit and healthy. A hospital spokesman said, the baby had only been outside for a few hours and thanks to Masha and the child's clothing he was not damaged by the experience. Now residents in the area have hailed Masha a hero. Irina said, everyone in the block is very proud of her and we have all spoiled her rotten by giving her her favorite food. A police spokesman said officers were looking into the case and had launched a search for the baby's mother.
Very proud of him, because I never thought he would do that. Never in my life.
An Indianapolis woman calling her house cat a hero tonight for protecting her family from a man trying to break into her home. The woman told police that she was watching TV in her living room when she heard someone at her front door.
It happened early yesterday morning on Finley Avenue near Walker. 24-hour News 8's V. Wynn talked with a woman about what her house cat did to save the day. And V, as we said earlier, we expect it from a dog,
right,
but not from a cat.
Yeah, it's not every day that you hear about a cat fighting off an intruder, but the woman says she got Binky about 6 years ago. She described him as loyal, her best friend.
Hey guys, stereotypes suggest that dogs and cats rarely get along, but pet owners usually disagree, claiming that at the sight of a cat, their beloved dogs show only love. Three Siberian Huskies and a cat became very popular in an American city of San Jose. All the world media is talking about them. And the Instagram page of the Huskies Lilo, Infinity, Miko, and the cat Rosie became extremely popular. And all this because the dogs adopted and saved the kitten from certain death. The story of the animal family is a true story of a happy ending for an abandoned baby. 3-month-old Rosie was picked up on a busy highway in April 2015. She was dying of exhaustion and fleas. When she was brought home, she was lethargic, suffering from indigestion and vomiting. The owners decided to risk it and put the foundling next to the husky pack leader Lilo, who's never had and never will have puppies of her own. It was a miracle. The dog immediately felt a connection with the kitten and started to care for her. She warmed and licked the kitten, calmed her down, and didn't leave her side. Lilo cared for Rosie as if she were her own puppy. Friendship, attention, warmth, and care saved this kitten's life. Soon Rosie got better and began to eat, although she preferred to eat dog food. As a result, the kitten's life took an unexpected turn. She started to copy the dog's behavior as they replaced her parents. She walks on a leash, plays outside with the dogs, sleeps, and eats together with the rest of the pack. The owners say that the cat fully adopted some of her friend's habits. For example, she's fearless and is not at all afraid of water. Rosie has become a full-fledged member of the pack, says one of the owners. The owners of Rosie and the 3 huskies are 3 sisters from California who have been rescuing homeless animals since they were kids, feeding them and giving them treatment. The following words were used as an epigraph of the children's book about the friendship of Rosie the cat and Lilo the husky. Love does not see with the eyes, but the heart. Rosie and Lilo now look after and take care of helpless kittens together. Many kittens get to their home in bad condition and require treatment and hourly feeding. In this wonderful family, all the rescued kittens get huge amounts of love and warmth, so they get to their new families being much stronger, healthier, and fully socialized. Hundreds of thousands of people follow the account of the 4 best friends. Each published picture is nothing short of amazing. Look at them. I think they deserve all the adoration and admiration. An unusual accident happened to Kevin and Louise Errington of Staffordshire, England. A golden retriever named Toby and a cat named Stuart live in their family. One day, the cat went for a walk and didn't come back for 2 days. Toby was restless, said the pet owner, Dr. Kevin Errington. Stuart and Toby are best friends. We were a bit worried when Stuart did not come home for a whole day, but not too worried as he often disappeared for a couple of days, but he always came back home. But Toby knew that something was wrong, notes Kevin. Sometime later, the owners heard Toby barking incessantly and went out to the garden to check on him. The dog was standing over a blackberry bush and wouldn't calm down, looking from the bush to the people. After getting closer, the couple saw Toby curled up under the bush. He was injured. He kept barking and wouldn't leave. In the end, we came to the bushes and found Stuart there. It looked like he's been hit by a car. He somehow managed to crawl the 50 meters from the road to our garden, even though we later found out that his spine was seriously injured, said Errington. The couple immediately took the cat to the vet, where he had to undergo emergency surgery. Toby is a real hero. When we found Stuart, he was on the brink of death, Kevin said. The vets confirmed that if it weren't for the dog, the cat's fate would have been a sad one. Now, according to the pet owner, Stuart is successfully recovering from his injuries. The animal shelter Pet and Wildlife Rescue, located in the Canadian province of Ontario, published a post on Facebook telling a touching story of a dog and 5 kittens. They were found by the side of the road on a cold, frosty night by a woman passing by. The homeless dog was lying in the snow, using her body to warm 5 tiny kittens. The woman took all 6 of them to the pet shelter, where they are now waiting for their new owners. The shelter employees named the dog Serenity. She regularly visits her adopted children, who are currently getting treatment for parasites and fleas. No one knows exactly what happened to the kittens. Most likely, someone simply threw them out on the street. The shelter employees say that kittens this small wouldn't have survived such a cold night if it weren't for Serenity. Our next story is no less touching and took place in Australia. A fire suddenly broke out in one of the Melbourne houses. A 37-year-old woman, her 3 children aged 5 to 18 years, and one of the dogs managed to get out of the burning house. But the second dog, Leo, was stuck in the fiery trap. Having barely managed to move away from the place where power lines just fell, the firefighters rushed into the burning rooms to rescue the trapped dog. They found the dog in one of the bedrooms and were very surprised to see that he wasn't hiding, but rather was trying to save 4 little kittens who were barely 1 month old. Even though it could have cost him his life, the dog stubbornly stayed with the kittens, says one of the firemen. When all the animals were taken out into the fresh air in a safe place, the dog lost consciousness and stopped breathing. The firemen had to perform CPR and use the oxygen mask on Leo. We managed not only to get him out of the fire, but to successfully resuscitate him as well, says the fire chief, proud of his team. The kittens managed to survive the fire without consequences. When the dog came to, he immediately ran to check on the kittens, who were put in a large box by then. All family members were unharmed except for the 11-year-old daughter, who was taken to the hospital to get treatment for smoke inhalation. Sometime later, the whole family, including the animals, was back together and in perfect health. Even the cat, who got lost in this turmoil mother, came back. Australian firemen declared the brave dog a hero for risking his life to try and save the kittens from the fire, which is exactly what real firefighters do. The next story tells about an extraordinary act that altered the typical understanding of the interspecies animal relations even further. A dog in New Zealand donated blood to save the life of a dying cat. Reportedly, cross-species blood transfusion was among the first of its kind and happened after the cat owner Kim Edwards noticed that her ginger cat Rory got very weak. A quick investigation established that the cat had eaten rat poison, so Ms. Edwards rushed him to the vet, Kate Heller, in the nearby town of Tauranga on New Zealand's North Island. Rory was losing strength, and Kate realized that she didn't have time to send his blood sample for testing to find a suitable blood donor for transfusion, which Rory desperately needed. Instead, Kate decided that the best course of action was to contact her friend Michelle Whitmore, who voluntarily suggested that her black Labrador Macy could be a dog blood donor. Not knowing if their blood types matched, Kate decided to take the potentially fatal step and move forward with the transfusion. If Macy and Rory had different blood types, the cat would have died instantly. Fortunately, the blood was a match and Rory recovered quickly. Speaking to the journalists of a New Zealand newspaper, Kate Heller said, "People are going to think that this sounds pretty dodgy, and it is. But hey, we've been successful and it saved a life." Ms. Edwards was equally happy about the operation, adding that Rory hasn't picked up any dog habits since the transfusion. The vets just went above and beyond. "It's incredible that it worked," she said. "Rory is back to normal, and we don't have a cat that barks or fetches the paper," she added, smiling. Previous stories were about dogs saving cats, but the following one is about a cat saving a puppy. The camera accidentally caught a touching scene of a puppy's rescue. He had fallen down into a hole and couldn't get out. He tried to climb up but kept falling down and trying again. An adult cat noticed the desperate puppy and with no hesitation rushed down to save him. How amazing is it that all these stories have a happy ending? All dogs and cats from today's video are real heroes. Give us a thumbs up if you agree. Till the next time.